Hi everyone. So I thought I would talk a little bit about experience of training and teaching in, well, two cultures now where violence is not very common and people have but on the other side of that, there's a deep interest in martial arts. Japan, I was there for 13 years, and Singapore, I've been there for the last 10 years. And what I've noticed is people that come to training, you really need to, of course you need to talk to them, understand their interests, try and get a feel for their expectations, their tensions before you even start the work. But generally speaking, make faster progress with each other if you go in smaller steps and really start from a place of building up together. Graham? Striking someone is actually harder for the students than being struck. And helping the students understand that striking someone may be a necessary, maybe a good thing, can certainly be a healthy and a healing thing. But on the other side, bad people seem to have no trouble hitting other people. Good people seem to struggle with this a bit more. And it's a weakness for us to overcome. Certainly was for me. And so starting with receiving contact, this kind of warm-up that I'm sure most of you have done before, where you push, find the fist placements, but try and help your partner find movement, help them connect it to the breathing, emphasize the breathing. You want to hear them breathing. You want them to hear themselves breathing, especially if they've just started. But softly. It's just getting used to contact. The face, pushing the face. Watch for their reactions. Are they okay with this? Is it starting to make them uncomfortable? And then give them a way to move. So now, Graham, you're going to step when you feel like that's a good thing to do. And try and stay straight, try and stay soft. And you're staying close to them. Contact. And this idea of staying within the distance where you could hug someone or you could strike someone. Emphasize the breathing. Then have them do it to you so you can emphasize the breathing for them. And then start to help them understand how they can hold a strike or the beginning of a strike or even some weight in a way that perhaps they might not have realized. If you don't mind to lie down. Now this kind of assumes that you've been through the basic push-ups together a little bit. One hand on the floor, one fist very comfortably on your partner. Watch their face, watch if they're still with you. And just half your weight. And the instruction for your partner or for the student, you don't want to just be super tense because that won't last. And you don't want to be super soft because that'll just go straight through into your organs. Where's that place somewhere in the middle where you can hold the weight, can breathe comfortably, we can have a conversation. Graham, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
Coffee.
That's my kind of breakfast. So right now, Graham is holding the strike somewhere in the middle. It's moving a little bit. It feels solid. It's not going all the way through. And we're talking about having coffee. So give a little bit more weight and some more weight. And then depending on the student, up you go. And if they're ready for it, you can even vary the pressure. Do this across the whole body, but build up the weight, build up the pressure. And if they seem comfortable with that, now it's time to stand up again. If you have a wall, this is perfect. It's now the same drill, but now you're standing up. So you had the support of the floor just now. Now you've got the support of the wall. Just breathe. Find that place in the middle where you feel comfortable. And again, build up slowly until you're at the point where you're giving them variable pressure. You work up and down the body. But this idea of getting there in small steps over time. Okay. And then the other thing I've found is because there's just less violence in those societies, the concept of hitting someone, unless they've gone out of their way to study martial arts, they don't have any. There's very little general concept of striking someone. So this drill of fist placement, of feeling where the other person is, so that you can make your strike go through someone and into someone, seems to be a real accelerator for people's understanding. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're not adding layers of tension. So if Graham takes a step back randomly, this is what should happen. This is what should not happen. Take a step back. And Vladimir, I think, was actually saying it earlier today. So place the fist. Should be like a hook resting or a book on a shelf. Okay, now have your partner stand still and be patient. Give your students the time to be patient, to feel the way in. If you're seeing too much tension in the shoulder, you can actually, a hand placed on the shoulder seems to have a massively relaxing effect somehow. But the hand placement has to be soft, obviously. Grabbing someone like that is not going to it's not going to give them relaxation. But Graham can give me feedback too. If he's feeling the tension build, he can help me understand that. So this kind of biofeedback to speed things up. Yeah, it goes into the middle because there's less getting in the way of the delivery. And so we're going slow here, but the understanding and the speed at which your students can deliver heavy strikes in the end, seems to be faster. And then can I do the same thing, but without Graham giving me that biofeedback? Breathing so that your upper back relaxes seems to help hugely. And then the same kind of idea, but I walk up, so Graham stays where he is. I walk up to Graham. And can I find that place straight away? Do I need to stop and set up, or can I just find it straight away? Working the head in this way is so good for both people. This being comfortable contacting someone in the face, being comfortable being contacted in the face. And from here, you can now start to step it up a little bit, depending on how the students are. You can go from contact just to pushing straight through. Check your legs. What happens to your hips and your legs? Does it suddenly now become about the hips? Or are you still just working from the hand, which is what you want? That was not so good on my part. And stay with them, especially in the early stages. Really watch their face. If they disappeared off into another universe, or are they still really with you? And especially as you start building up the heaviness and the distance from the strikes. Probably getting towards the end of the time, but there's one treasure I wanted to share from Moscow. This was something that Michael showed us, which just helps. Almost like magic. Works best if you have two whips, but any objects that are heavier than your hand will work. The whips are so good because they already have a lot of softness, and you just swing them 10 times. So Graham, you swing them 10 times like that. Just cross them over. That's it. Try and relax your hips a little bit while you do it. Mm-hmm. Really let the weight of the whip be the thing that moves your arms in the end, like a pendulum. Start to feel it in your hands. Hands should start to feel heavier. Shoulders should feel relaxed. Breathe out so your upper back relaxes. Okay, and then you put the whips down. Close your fists softly, and then you hit me. And if you think of the movement that you had with the whip, now try that, but with no whip, and use it to help your fist. Yeah. So you're kind of transferring this softness and weight of the whip straight back into a strike, and see how your strike feels different. Okay, do another few, and I'll take them from you, and then you go straight to the strike. Try and keep the same feeling. Okay, and go. No setup, just go. Yes, that was it, yeah. The last one really depends if the student or your partner wants it. But I'll just explain it today. You take your partner's hand at the wrist. This is also from Moscow with Love. You just punch the nerve endings on the end of the shoulder a few times. And basically you can't feel your shoulder anymore. It's not destructive, it's only temporary, but then your fist is free to work. Do you want to try a little bit? Yeah. Okay, we'll do this side so they can see. Maybe just 2 or 3 times, and then now hit straight away. Nice. Nice.
Ooh.
You feel the difference?
Yes, totally different.
But again, situational, right? The student has to be comfortable for that, they have to be ready for that. Especially what I was talking about at the beginning, teaching Systema, introducing strikes in societies that don't have too much violence, that are peaceful. If you start too heavy, too soon, like I did in the beginning, you lose your students. I was a civil servant for 2 years. This is my example of what not to do. I was a civil servant for 2 years after I graduated in Japan, and the town hall were very excited that this British guy could introduce a little bit of Russian culture into the town, and they sent all the other civil servants, kind people from the town, came to learn Systema. I had just come back from seeing Vladimir for the second time. I think I was 23, too young and too stupid. And we trained exactly the same as Toronto. The second lesson I had, I went from 30 students to 3. That was a big lesson for me. So, in steps, and then everyone goes faster in the end. Thank you, Graham. Thank you. Thank you, Vladimir.